Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Now, it's not some kind of routine greeting there. I really mean it when I say it. After all, it's always nice to get a good start to the day, right? It gets your juices flowing and all that. And you can never tell what kind of morning you're going to have the next day, right? It's the one with a pleasant smell from the street or the one with a splitting headache. Different mornings we may surely have, but let me tell you, dear audience, about the worst kind of morning. And trust me, a headache doesn't even compare. Thursday, 5:42 a.m. Marie, a loving mother, gets woken up by a call to be informed that her only 19-year-old son was found dead in a shower in the dormitory where he lived. Cause of death: 2 open wounds on his wrists. Suicide. Now imagine what Marie should feel upon hearing this. Shock, dread, panic. And this will all fade away with time, but do you know what's there to stay? Confusion. Every morning will now start with a why question. Just as every evening will end with it. And just as I'm asking it right now, why in this world will such words as development and progress are heard around every corner? Our suicide rates are higher than ever. Let me show you then how bad it's already gone. According to World Health Organization, in 2015, 828,000 people worldwide committed suicide. That is one person every 40 seconds, meaning that since the moment I began my speech, 3 people somewhere, maybe in a country that you may have never even heard of, have willingly taken their lives. And what's more shocking, it's expected to be one person every 20 seconds in 2 years. How and why? Well, the reasons for killing oneself are perhaps too many to count. Getting fired, going through a breakup, not being successful, the list goes on. Seeing how difficult it is to predict the future, people decide to invent it themselves, taking control of the only thing they can, well, in their opinion, and it's not how the life is going to be, but how it's going to end. And all these reasons have something in common, don't they? They all put pressure on people. And pressure is a natural thing in life. We all experience it. Not everyone who loses their jobs or partners decides to hang oneself. I mean, if that were true, some of you would be dead right now. Me too, by the way. So pressure is nothing in itself. It's the way we deal with it. And what does one do to deal with it? What does one do when unable to handle the burden on one's own? One seeks support. And what may happen when there's none? Well, you know how the story goes. And the irony is that support is a really old word, old concept, dates back to the 14th century. And how is it that after centuries of speaking of support, analyzing what it means, the humanity seems to have never learned really how to show support? I mean, if we had, where would suicides come from then? So, it's really high time we turn the tables, right? And the question is how? And, well, instead of giving you an abstract metaphysical answer, I'm going to tell you what I'm exactly going to do. Tonight, I'm going home to see my family, which I haven't seen for a month or so. And while staying there, I'll actually talk to them, discuss our problems, asking them questions on how they feel and how they've been doing, having some fun playing board games and have a picnic, perhaps. So I'm making sure that I'm there for them, that they're not alone. And I'm confident that I, with their help, can be who everyone should be. The master of my fate and the captain of my soul. Now you may not agree, okay, that such banal things can save a life. Yes, they can. Well, at one proper word combination, at a proper moment can save a life. A good song can save a life. Try listening to a Show Must Go On by Queen and you may forget about all your problems instantly. So, after we wrap this all up here, go home and do some of these little things. Because we prefer to go big, we forget about small things. We like big money, big houses, big plans, alright? But what about small talks, little tender moments, little plans? Just be there, which is a title of another inspiring song, by the way. Be there so you could never experience what Marie has. Be there savior. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you so much. Questions? Please.
Okay. Alina Vashkitova, thank you for the speech. So I had a friend whose mom died right before she walked into the room, and I saw her how upset she was, and she was crying, and I couldn't find any words or anything else to do, so I just gave her a hug, and I just wonder, what would you do? How would you help her?
Thank you for your question. First of all, I read an article recently about this very notion of how to treat people when they feel grief about the relatives or friends passing away. Yeah? And so the basic thing which your friend did, right, to hug, to have some physical contact, because it's very important, because the person should never feel alone at that stage. And although they do say, please leave me alone, please, it's just a cry out for help, really. It's just a method of saying, please, I do need your attention, although they say the opposite thing. Yes, that basically the same that I would do, just staying as close as possible, because this is the moment when the person is really at one's most vulnerable, I should say. And never just leave them, well, for the time being. Thank you.
More questions? Please.
Thank you very much. You mentioned support and how important support is to prevent suicide. What about, what's your take on support to people who were left behind? If you, the loved ones, the close ones of those who did take their lives. What's your take on this? Like, should they also get support, or should we forget about them?
Well, surely
you mentioned the mother that lost her child. What would you suggest her close ones, or if you knew her, what would you or what did you do to support her?
Your question is kind of similar to the first one, and obviously, well, you've heard my answer. Well, remain close, and so on and so forth. Obviously, you cannot be there 24/7, and to give a piece of advice to her relatives, for instance, is just making sure that they keep her in sight. So give me a moment to explain that. So they would know where she is, know probably how she feels, so they could never find herself committing suicide as well. So this is the moment. It may take a week, it may take a month, it may take a lifetime to recover from that. But it's just never lose sight of the one who needs support, and that is it. Just know where, when, and what they're doing, what they feel.
I believe that's all the time we have, sorry.
We have no.
No. Okay. Thank you so much.